Hello, and welcome to the collapse experiment, where for some reason it's 39 degrees out and we have a wind advisory. Tonight, 7 degrees. So, just like with the other days earlier this week, it makes it fun for going for a walk because everything is melting. Melting so much, you can't wear snowshoes, but you're sliding around all over the place. So, what happens when you stop drinking? The things that I've noticed. So, New Year's Eve 2024 was the last time I had anything to drink. We are now heading towards March, which means about 2 months. I haven't really talked about this topic all that much because I don't really think about it. I know some people would cringe or make comments about if I was to say, I wasn't an alcoholic. There were times where I wondered, but then I'd go like a week or two and be like, I'm fine. And then because I enjoy having a beer, I like beer. I like beer. Remember that whole fiasco? So because I like, well, did I really like the beer? Yeah, stouts and porters. I don't really like carbonated stuff. That's why I'm not really into soda, pop. It's Coke. They call it Coke. Not really into any of that carbonated stuff. So, porters and stouts, even though it is carbonated, it doesn't have that bubbly sensation. It doesn't make you burp all the time when you're drinking it. Then there's red wine. Red wine I really enjoy. Whites, it's very rare that I find a white wine that I liked. There's some out there, but things that I've noticed so far hasn't really been like social gatherings or anything like that. There's one late New Year's party, meaning it was like a week or two after New Year's Day that these people had this get together. By that point, I had already whenever that party took place, that was how long I had already not been drinking. So I go to this party and there's people that are already like completely shit-faced, slurring their words. It's like, dude, I've never met you. No, you don't know me. And then sitting back, being the sober person in the room, and having these people that you've never met before sitting there telling you all this stuff and listening and watching their random thoughts just kind of like ding 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 ding, just like a freaking pinball all over the place. You have to be talking about one thing and then all of a sudden like something pops into their head and they're like, my grandpa had a boat and we used to go out on Lake Michigan. It's like, weren't you just talking about your job and blah blah blah? Like, it gave me a totally new perspective on the whole going out having a good time. Just how like if I enjoyed that as like a form of entertainment, I would just go out sober and sit in a bar. Maybe bring like a big container of apple juice or something, because you know when they were filming Cheers back in the day. If you don't know what Cheers is, I have a pretty good guess as to what generation you're a part of. But Cheers was apple juice. They filled all the mugs with apple juice. Everybody's just drinking apple juice. There was never any beer on set. I would just sit at a bar drinking apple juice all night, so other people thought that I was getting trashed too, and just watch everybody if I thought that was entertaining. Watching people at some of their dumbest moments. Now looking back, wondering, God, how many of my stupid moments were people seeing? I think half the time, because everybody's so shit-faced at these brew pubs and bars and stuff, even those people don't remember. Unless it was something absolutely catastrophic, right? You know, I do have to say that I haven't really thought about it until now, but one of the things that I actually like about the T-Man, you know, the current president, is the fact that he doesn't even drink. I have, in person, seen some politicians completely blitzed out of their minds, doing the stupidest shit. And the weirdest part was, this ended up being like a well-known thing. We had this one county commissioner who decided that she was gonna, I believe she ran for like a state representative position. And some of the other commissioners before the election came out and said, hey, this chick, yeah, she's been on the county commission for X amount of years, but guess what? Raging alcoholic. Pretty sure her husband was gay. Pretty damn sure her husband was gay. So, you know, marriage of convenience. Well, I can't just be a single woman in office. I have to have that image. But probably doesn't like having sex with dudes. So yeah, finds some guy who's like, well, I want everybody knowing I'm gay. That kind of marriage. And there was one day at the brewery that I used to work at, her and her husband. Husband wasn't as bad. I have seen him shit-faced before. But that night, he wasn't that bad. I'm wondering if they like take turns, like, oh, I'm getting plastered tonight. All right, I'll be the driver. But man, she like went off about something. She was going on some tangent, and then she goes stumbling around. She knocks this table over, like breaks the fucking table. And then as soon as it happens, she gets up right away, and there's like this sober moment where she's like, I need to leave before pictures are taken. And she like bolted out the door. And her husband's just sitting there like, I'm gonna go pay the tab and I will find her in the car. Drunk politicians out breaking shit. Does that surprise anybody? Really? She ended up winning that election, by the way, which flabbergasted me, because like every opportunity where those people were posting about like her antics, I was saying, can confirm, seen it myself. But no, people don't care. There's this weird party loyalty. I know I'm getting off the topic, but no, there's definitely, and especially with Democrats. Back in the Bush era, you definitely had your hardcore Republicans, right? Those people are like, it's God and country, and if you're not with us, you're with the terrorist. I'm sorry, terrorist. That's how Bush used to say it. It's a war on terror. But that's always something that's bugged me. It's like, if you can't change your ideas and recognize when something's not right, or even that the party has changed, and you're just loyal for the sake of, like, I've been a Democrat for 20 years. It's not bragging rights if the Democrats are turning into a party of shit. That's when you should really start using terms like, I'm an old school Democrat. So, yeah, things that I've noticed. A lot of feathers around here. Something got killed. Oh, yep. Actually, I'm starting to wonder if one of my chickens was taken. I think I'm about to be pissed. So yeah, haven't had any real social gathering encounters. So far I've saved money. I know I've saved money. Mental clarity. Well, considering that I stopped drinking and started taking nootropics around the same time, I mean, is it one? Is it the other? Is it both at the same time? Don't know. My guess is the nootropics probably work better without imbibing in alcohol, which means it's probably a really good time to start taking them once I quit. And really, the whole point of, I had several reasons for quitting. I've lost weight. One thing I've noticed is the tolerance for other people's bullshit. And I think that's where alcohol turns into some type of, it's like it numbs you to the world, right? There was a time where you had brew pubs and taverns, or people, especially Europe, right? That was what people went and drank. And a lot of the places, like I believe it's Czechoslovakia, where the sanitized water is kind of sketchy. Russia, for example, you don't drink the water. You do not drink the water in Russia. But what you do is you take beer and you add it to the water, because the alcohol kills whatever the hell might be floating in it. And you basically drink like a 1.5% diluted beer throughout the day. And if you're not worried about hydration, you could just drink the beer. But that was a way of making sure that your water was clean. Ancient Greeks, they would take the wine from a jar and they'd do 50-50 with water, and it still tastes like the wine. You wouldn't get shit-faced, and the water was safe. So, been saving money, less tolerant of other people's bullshit, because there were days where it was just like, you get home and it's like, crack open a bottle, pour a glass, and usually it was just one glass. Have that one glass, go to bed like an hour later, and you got through the day, right? It's kind of like you almost think it's celebratory, but at the same time, it's like you're numbing yourself to the sensation of like, how much longer am I going to put up with this bullshit? Usually job related. Then there's the other things. I mean, I do find it interesting that a lot of the conspiracy theorists, which is that going to become a profession now? Like, to be a professional conspiracy theorist? Like, I think Alex Jones has like the monopoly on that title right now. But a lot of them, Alex included now, are like, well, they'll say, if you're an alcoholic, you'll say you're an alcoholic. Even if you're sober, right? Because part of that whole AA thing is like, you're never not an alcoholic, you're never cured, you're always fighting the disease. Michael Rupert, he had a problem with drinking for a while. Alex Jones. I'm sure there's a few others out there. Can't really think of at the moment. But it's kind of weird that their theories and the stuff that they would cover and the stories that they wrote wasn't when they were drinking. You can't say it's like the stupefying effects of being drunk or under the influence, right? We already come up with this lizard people bullshit. What drugs were you on? I haven't had anything since. The last thing I'm going to point out is sleep. Now, I will say it's hard for me to really measure whether or not my sleep has been better as of lately, because for some reason our daughters, or our two girls, have been waking up in the middle of the night and they crawl into our bed. And this has created quite a bit of friction, because when this started, I immediately insisted, like, you need to go back to your own bed. Whereas my wife was like, they should be able to stay here, blah, blah, blah. In which case, my oldest daughter doesn't she doesn't sleep in one position. She twists, she turns, she kicks you in the back. Her arm will slap you in the face. There's no sleep. There's none. So as of lately, and I know what people are going to say. They're going to be like, no, that's not the reason you're sleeping on the couch. No, that is exactly the reason I'm sleeping on the couch. There is no room for anybody to crawl onto the couch with me. And believe me, somebody tried. No, it's... The last couple nights have actually been pretty good. For some reason, though, I keep waking up at like 4:30 in the morning. It's around 4:30. I'm like, my alarm doesn't go off until 5. And I get mad at myself because I'm like, why am I up? Why can't I just wait for the alarm? 9 times out of 10, I am up before the alarm goes off. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's just like an inner clock thing. Part of it is that this new phone that I got has this horribly stupid thing where it's like, it's doing the smart charge. See, with my old Motorola, I had this rapid charge thing, which at the time, and I don't know if batteries have changed or not, but it would say that, so the batteries at the time, from my understanding, if it charged faster, the battery lasted longer, like the lifetime of the battery. And now I go and I plug my phone in at night and it'll say like, doing the smart charge. It'll be fully charged by 5 a.m. And I'm like, man, my old phone would charge in like an hour, hour and a half. What the hell? So I think maybe part of it is like in the back of my head, I'm like, your phone is not near you. What if you don't hear your phone? Will you be up in time? Not like it would be the end of the world if I overslept once forever in my life. But no, I have noticed that sleep has been better aside from the whole weird debacle of kids raiding the bedroom in the middle of the night. Still haven't quite said as to what that's about. It's not like they're saying like, I'm scared. It's usually, I can't sleep. So that's about it for me. That's my, that's so far what I've noticed with no longer drinking. I feel weird saying drinking. Maybe I should just say enjoying alcoholic beverages. Enjoying alcohol? I don't know. Drinking makes it sound like college frat parties and keggers. Doing that weird thing of like punching a hole in the bottom of the can and popping the lid, you know? Which I totally forgot about until I was reading The Last Huck. Some of the characters were doing that. I'm like, man, I haven't seen anybody do that since I was in high school watching the college parties in the neighborhood. So anyways, that's about it. Keep on typing.